In terms of renewable, we're looking at a potential 1 megawatt capacity on your roofs, if you want them, and solar essentially and plug into the sun are amongst others who can help us do that. We're looking at a megawatt of capacity on the industrial roofs of Wadebridge, which is clearly up to the owners of those roofs, but the benefits to them are clear and the benefits to the town. We're looking at potentially a number of greenfield PV sites, which will produce income for the town rather than for outside developers. And we're looking potentially at large wind turbines for generating income for the town. It's great to see you all. And the buzz around all this has been fascinating. So, as I said, if you join, you'll be able to elect or be on the management committee, decide what should happen, and decide how the fund will be spent. So, I think somewhere over 400 people have come through here today, so I hope most of those will actually join, and then it'll be a generally collaborative activity.
It's projects like the WREN project which will lift this town and get it in the public eye. It's going to put money back in the community, and again, all these little things will have a massive ripple effect going forward. What was being looked at here in Wadebridge today could be applied in towns and villages and communities right the way across Cornwall and right the way across the country. So it's very exciting that ideas that have begun and germinated here could be a model for other places. A model that works to encourage everybody to say, well, can I have solar PV, for example, on my house and generate some power and get a guaranteed income that brings the cost of that investment right down.
It's become increasingly clear over the last few years that we, as members of society, have to start to take responsibility for ourselves. We can see that the various models for doing things that we've depended on for the last 50, 60, 70 years are beginning to get a bit shaky. And that goes across governments, both national and local. Also, taking responsibility for ourselves. You know, we get all our electricity, realistically today, from a nuclear power station sat on the north coast of Somerset. Now, how dare any NIMBY or anyone come to that say, well, we don't see a wind turbine yet because it's ruining my view. I mean, how dare we? Who are we to say that we just condemn those people in North Somerset to living next to a nuke? And would any of us like it? I think by now, after many generations of Cornwall being used as a gold mine by outside capital, we need to reverse that trend. I'd just like to finish by saying congratulations to WREN. It's the most extraordinary event. Well done. Thanks very much.
We've been to the schools and talking to all the schools in Wadebridge, and the response has been absolutely stunningly informed, and in the schools people got the hang of it immediately. There was no explanation required, and there was some frustration with their parents about not really understanding what's going on. And I don't know if you heard this morning, the first quarter of an hour after 7 on BBC Radio Cornwall was actually, I think, was it Flo? And other students from Wadebridge School. And clearly, they're the future. One of the main points of all this is to provide a secure employment environment for our students once they've qualified and whatever, so that many of them can actually live and work here. So very bravely and generously, 2 of the students in the ECO group have agreed to come and talk to us. So it's Flo, James and Maisie Forth.
Hi, we're here to represent Wadebridge School, also the Wadebridge School Eco team. Last year we got into the finals of an eco competition, encouraging all schools in Cornwall to represent their ideas that could potentially develop their school into a green, low-commission school. We brought home second place and £4,000 to be spent on our ideas.
At Eco Club, we're really passionate about the idea of a green Wadebridge, and we want to do something about it. We feel as if because we're young, it's hard to get our point across, even though we're the ones that will have to suffer for the adults' mistakes.
And we're really glad that someone's finally understands that we can't carry on this way.
Simple things like using daylight as your source of light and cycling to destinations within reason can help the environment, while bigger ideas are being involved.
Within our school, many students are now carpooling when it's essential to come to school in a car, and many students are bracing the Cornish weather and cycling to school.
We're also doing little things that will help the environment, from planting a little tree to telling teachers to turn computers off when not in use. We feel as if it shouldn't just be a small group of people that are doing those things, but the whole of Wadebridge's community.
We love the idea of WREN, but understand that some grown-ups may be worried about the fact that it costs them money. But we want to help them understand that in the long term it will save a lot of money.
Cutting down on your electricity consumption will drastically down your electricity bills. Not buying that iPad when your iPhone is still working will help you avoid the VAT increase.
Not cooking such a huge amount of food will also stop as much going into the landfill and also help your waste down. We are also aware that some of our peers think it's uncool to be involved with helping the environment, but we believe once they see the extra money WREN could pull into the community, more and more teenagers will want to become involved.
We've had ideas that some of the money could be used to, like teenagers, sports facilities, skate parks, things that will encourage youngsters to be out exercising rather than playing on games and on the computer.
Okay, so that's it for us. Thank you for listening, and remember, change the world because you can.
One of the first things I'll propose to those of you who have joined or who will join is that there should be no lower age criterion for membership of WREN. There'll be legal issues in terms of formal voting rights, but I think that anybody should be entitled to be in on the discussions and lead discussions, and especially younger people of Wadebridge.
WREN has come a huge way in a very, very small amount of time. We're now clear what the appropriate legal form is. This is a technicality. It's an industrial and provident society based on cooperative rules. Now, the good things about that are it's cooperative, it's democratic, it's accountable, and it's inclusive. We would like to encourage you, as several other speakers have done, to join up as members of WREN. It costs £1. You fill in an application form. It doesn't put you under any obligation and you have no liability. But what it does, it gives you a right to participate in the future of WREN. You can use your vote to elect a management committee, and we are going to need a strong management committee in the future to run this. It gives you a vote to help decide how the community fund will be spent as and when that kind of comes in, and it gives you a vote to help decide the way that WREN moves forward. We have several hundred people here today, but also it will be reflected in the number of people who sign up as members of WREN. So I really, really would encourage everybody to sign up. Only costs £1, lifetime membership, I think, and it really will kind of help this really move forward terrifically. So thank you very much.
And I'd very much like to thank you all for coming here. It's hugely encouraging. We didn't know if there's been a certain amount of time has gone into preparing for this, and the fact that you've all come is very gratifying. And finally, I'd like to ask you to think carefully about whether you would like to belong to WREN, and as you're here and the forms are here, perhaps this is the best time to deal with that task and little